Oh, guys, I was like here, we're backstage, getting ready to stream. I'm like stuttering John here with this freaking StreamYard, the
Wow.
connection. I I called my provider. Zach's like, it's your provider. Your internet connection in Canada doesn't connect. I'm like, what do you? We got high speed internet here. What is it? What are we at now? 5G, 5K? What is it?
Wow.
I don't
So
know what.
Socialist
5G.
internet.
I didn't know they had 5G home internet. I thought it was just like internet.
I don't
I thought
know.
it was a
Yeah,
cellular
Rogers,
thing.
bro. Do you use
It's like
Rogers?
I got that LTE home internet.
It is
going.
Rogers, yo. It is.
Wow.
I don't. Okay, I don't think it's the internet. What was it? Last week or the week before, when I was all Robotronic, like I had like 600 down
Yeah.
and like 300 up,
So
like
it's fine.
while it was happening.
It's StreamYard, bro. It's not optimized for shit. I was constantly having problems. Now, Zach suggested I go to Firefox. I haven't had a problem since. But StreamYard sucks hard sometimes.
Yeah.
It's so good though. That's the thing. It's so good.
I know,
It's so
it
good and
is.
so bad.
There's so many valuable tools on here. Like the what's the word? The production quality is so high.
Yeah. Yeah.
But every once in a while, it's shitty enough that you're like, why am I paying for this?
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
$50 a month, bro. I don't even pay that much for porn per month.
I don't think I've ever spent that much money on porn. It's free.
Well,
on
per
the-
month. Per month.
No, I'm talking total.
Wow, you gotta
Well,
have that budget, bro.
if you could get your NRD back, you can afford it.
Wow.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the adult collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of lore gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Marco. Man, almost had it.
Dylan, you're not a rookie anymore, Dylan. That's unacceptable. Welcome
The
to
hotkeys weren't working for me. Right when I start depending on Control D,
And I'm Dylan.
because it's Control D.
What a legend. What a legend. Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank our friends over at 1/6 Corner for sponsoring this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. Guys, don't forget to use code CW10. That's capital CW10 during our live recording for 10% off all in-stock items. Make sure you go over there and check them out.
We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. We have some new figures to talk about. We have some teases to talk about, some leaks to talk about, some drama to talk about, an unanswered email to talk about. But before we get into all of that, Dean, we have a very special segment that we kick off all of the best shows with.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week? I had a pretty good week. Part and thanks to Zach. I'm a
Wow.
fucking angel, bro. I give Zach a lot of shit, but he's a fucking sweetheart.
Yeah, well, he deserves it though, no?
You
Wait,
Zach.
the praise or the shit? How dare you, John?
You deserve the praise. So I picked
Wow.
up the Figma guts in Berserk armor from you.
Okay.
And then I bought a custom cape for it. So it's there waving in the wind. Very cool. OT customs on eBay. They're like $15. It's wired. Very cool. I'd also bought one for my Black Swordsman guts, like, I don't know, last year. Maybe even longer. And then I wasn't done. I needed to quench that the Figma Guts was just good enough, but I needed more. So I picked this up from one of the guys in the Ox. It's the is he an Ox? He should be an Ox.
Yeah.
I picked up the 3-0 Guts in Berserk armor. It's the limited edition, so it comes with this head sculpt. I picked it up from Eric Ruiz. He cut me a good deal.
Is that one numbered, Dean? The limited edition?
I don't know if it's numbered, actually. I have to look on the box. I'll get back to you in a couple minutes.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so this one comes again with his unhelmeted head sculpt. Super amazing detail. It's basically a giant Figma figure. It's not a traditional 6-scale figure with a body and clothes on top of the body. It's actually just like an articulated armored body. So it's very cool. It's very unique. It holds pose as well. There's some fiddly bits that I'm not a huge fan of, but I understand why they did it the way they did. Like the forearms are on a swivel and they come out very easily, especially with his big ass sword. It's very heavy. But I mean, he's really not going to move much out of this pose, you know, when I have him in the DTOF. So I love this thing. It's amazing.
Wow.
I also got some Papa Parade Kill la Kill figures, Ryuko Matoi and Mako Makan Shoku. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right. They say
that
in the
3
show.
times.
Yeah, it's a lot. I love this show. It's actually kind of a stupid show, but it's so good. The animation is incredible. If you're looking for an in-depth story, you're not really going to get it, but it's just about kicking ass, and it's good. These are only like $25-$30 a pop, so I had them on pre-order for a while, so they came out, and I was like, oh shit, okay. So I got those, and I think that was it.
We have Ninja Squirrel, Carlito, Toy Mafia, Tukatri, Duck Collector, Sam just got back from working at the Grand Canyon.
Wow.
Long day, but I made it. Absolute Irwin, Brenton, PT Works, Yo Yo. We also have Vintage Rebellion, David Jones, CC3PO, the lovely, Equan, Big Ol' Fern, Badfish. Who else we got here? Mario. Miss my sweet Mario. 6-Scale Reviews, Mark Pearson. Big shout out to Mark Pearson. Who else we got? We got a lot of people in the chat tonight. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. KJ Smith, thank you so much. Ben Thomas, we really appreciate it. Before I go, does anyone else have any new this week? Actually, you have one, Marco.
Yeah, so this was a pre-order, right? So it was an online exclusive. I think they're going to release the 2-pack, but it's a 4-pack, 1/12 scale NECA Ninja Turtles from The Secret of the Ooze. Now, I have no Turtles like figures from beyond when I was a kid, right? So I've seen those 1/4 scale. They look awesome. If they ever made these in 1/6, like I would be all over it. But this was like one that I was debating. I was like, it's not really a scale I collect. You know, I've got the Razor Crest. You know, Equan helps me out with the Symbiote Spider-Man with the retro card back. But I'm afraid to go, you know, I think Eddie was the one that said, don't collect backwards. So I'm afraid to go down this line, but this packaging was so sweet, I had to pre-order it. So I don't know the typical turnaround time on these. I know Equan was saying like maybe a few months, a little less than, you know, a 1/6 figure, but really looking forward to seeing what these are like in hand because they look very detailed. And I'm already looking at, you know, trying to get a Super Shredder or some others from the line. But yeah, this was just one at $150. I was on the fence, but just made it by the cutoff window today. So happy I added this to the collection.
Congratulations. I think probably universally the NECA 7-inch scale figures are probably thought to be in the conversation for like best action figure of all time. Like,
oh wow,
without a doubt. At minimum, I think most serious collectors, you know, top 5, top 10. But I think looking at best of the decade lists, those figures top, you know, pretty hard. Holy
cow!
You know, they're absolutely bonkers. I've I've resisted the urge to buy them for a few years. I know eventually I'm gonna crack. I just don't feel like dropping $100 on turtles right now.
Yeah.
But they look stunning.
I got one from one of the Patreonies. I believe it's Raphael. I need the other 3, but they're so expensive. It's like, dude, they've released these turtles like 8 fucking times, and I still can't afford them. Like, what the fuck?
So they are. I think I was alluding to it earlier, but they are releasing 2 separate 2-packs that'll be available, I think, in Walmart. After my research, pulled this up. So it's cool that, if you miss out on this kind of more exclusive packaging, you could still get the figures, which is a pretty sweet deal, I'd say.
Yeah. Dylan, you had new this week or like some custom stuff we were going to talk about? What'd you got?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about, but real quick, I want to go back to Marco and ask, when Eddie told you don't go backwards, did he mean don't like go back and try and chase down old stuff? Or is he saying not to go back and collect small stuff?
I think he was saying do as I say, not as I do, and don't go to a smaller scale when you're already at 1/6. Only go up to like, quarter scale statues. So he may have said it in jest, but it's something that's been in the back of my mind for sure.
Gotcha. Because if he does have a point, like don't go chasing backwards with that line, because that is a long road to take.
You know what else they
Don't
say
go
you shouldn't
chasing
chase? Waterfalls. Wow.
God damn it. Motherfucker.
Stepped on the bit.
Sorry.
Just remember, creep. Yeah, so I got something here. Do you want me to share my screen?
Sure.
Okay. So I got, if you guys tuned in to last week's small talk, I got the this figure from McFarlane. I'm blanking on the name of what it was called, of course.
He's got a weird name, like the Dreamcatcher or some shit. He's from Spawn.
Yeah, so this is what it looked like. So essentially I complained that I really liked the figure, but I didn't like not having soft goods for the cape. It kind of felt, to me, it felt like Soul Crusher. Thank you. I was just looking it up. Soul Crusher, yeah. So he's from like the Spawn line, and I really like the design of him. Just didn't like this hard rubber cape and hood that went over him. So Dean, shout out, sent me a link for this guy on eBay that makes like almost matching perfectly, like a green soft goods cape. So first of all, this is really bad. Like McFarlane figures are not made for this, by the way. Like I'm pretty sure the neck peg was like glued in. I heated it up for like 5 minutes and it still took all my strength to take out. That's not saying much, but it took a lot to try and yank it out of there. And then the other problem was that the cape was glued onto the back of the figure, which you can kind of see like the marks still from it I couldn't scrape off. And then the hood there's like a square peg that it's glued into the top of the helmet. And that I had to eventually cut out just to get enough, like I had to take a scissors or knife and cut it just to get enough leverage. And this is what it looked like after that. And then so from there, this is what it looks like now with the soft goods. So it's a pretty cool cape. Tattered, it's wired.
Yep.
Looks a lot better in my opinion. But the one thing I was going to ask you about, Zach, is that he still has the mark on top of his head. And I tried to scrape it away like with a knife, with the scissors. And it's a hard material. So this is what I'm talking about. There on the top, you can kind of see the square hole on top. It's not the biggest deal, especially if I have the hood up. You can't see it.
Okay.
But I was going to... I don't know. I almost don't think like sandpaper would work. I don't know if I'm better off with
I think sandpaper will work. It's kind of hard to see. Is it like a metal finish on the top of the head?
It's just really hard rubber.
No. Like the paint is it like metallic or is it black? Like what color is the top of the head?
It's a little bit weathered black. It looks like it's got some silver gray accents on it, but for the most part, it's black.
I would get. They sell like for pedicures. It's like a stick with like sandpaper glued to it, and you can kind of like. It's almost like a little bit flexible, that you can get around the curvature of the head, but you basically just sand it, and then once you sand it smooth, you could fill it if there's any gaps, and then sand that smooth and then paint it. It would
Zach,
probably be.
How often you get a pedicure?
Depends. This summer, probably 2 weeks, 21 days.
Or, Dylan, you could join the top tier Patreonies and get a figure.
Well,
Just send it to Zach.
That's too involved. This isn't a simple glue job. I would say if it bothers you, what I would start with, Dylan, is paint it black and see if that bothers you still. If it's the fact that it's there that's bothering you, I would fix. You could go and fix it. The one thing I will say, very important, customizing. There's a phrase I would tell Damien a lot. Yeah, razor blade might work too.
That's what I tried, and it didn't work that great.
Yeah, a Dremel works too. Just remember, a Dremel is a tool of speed, not of force. So if you're using a Dremel, let the speed do the work.
Jeez.
One of the phrases I would tell Damien a lot was, "Don't lose the forest for the trees."
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when I do custom work, you really get fixated on that like 1% of a thing, and it drives you crazy, and you end up doing so much shit to fix that 1% that you eventually start to ruin the good stuff that's there, and then it kind of overtakes the project. So send me more photos. We can talk about it off air, but it can be fixed what you want to do. It's not that difficult, but again, I wouldn't it looks really solid the way you have it now. But send me photos and we can talk about it off air. I think, even if you send it to me, we could fix it. It's really doesn't look like that crazy of a big deal.
Cool. Yeah, it's what, John?
I was just gonna say, have you tried warming it up and then maybe warm it up a little bit easier to cut or easier to scrape off? Maybe, yeah.
That's like a must, because I wouldn't get anywhere with this thing if I didn't warm it up. With it's because when I say hard rubber, it's closer almost to a plastic. I think Zach probably knows, because it's very close to a lot of other McFarlane figures, like the Batman cape, I think. So
yeah.
It's kind of like a really hard rubber. It's a different material than what normally you would think. But yeah, overall, I was satisfied with how it turned out. I thought it looks like a pretty good figure. And one of the biggest reasons I went kind of all in on it is because when I matched it up with some of my Mezcos and Mythic Legions and stuff like that, even though I guess it really wouldn't go well with Mythic Legions, but it's close. It is close to those scales, so it kind of could work with them. Yeah. So it wasn't completely out there with it being 7-inch scale, so that was kind of the one nice thing.
Not too bad. I had a pretty good week. So as part of moving us out of our house, Victoria's like, I'm going to get you some Lego. And I had been wanting the Lego Mock Block bag end for probably about a year now by this point. And Victoria helped me pull the trigger on it. So this right here, these parts represent maybe like 30% of the parts. Through Bricklink, they have a function where you can upload your want list and they will maximize the amount of parts you can get per dollar. And so I think my total order was like 8 different orders. This was 3 of them. And some of the bigger orders have not come in yet, but I'm starting to organize them into color and shape. And I think my big mistake, the first mock that I did, which was the Milano, was I separated everything by color. But what I'm learning now from people that are more experienced and watching their videos is you actually want to sort it by shape. So like all the bricks together, all the single plates together, all the foliage pieces together, all the, brick texture stuff together. And that's supposed to make it quicker, because when you're sorting through a big ass bin of gray parts and they're completely different shapes and sizes, it's quite difficult. But if they're all like a similar shape, you could just go to that one area on your table and find what you need. So I'm hoping all the parts should be in by this weekend, and I'll be able to start building. So that's pretty exciting for me. This is what the set looks like when it's done. So it's about 3 times larger than the stock Lego set, and it has like a front end, and then on the back it has like the full table seating for the dwarves, a food storage area, Bilbo's room, the living area, and then the door. So you can recreate like some pretty iconic scenes from the films, and I'm super excited about this. So hopefully I'll have some photos of some work in progress next show, I'm hoping.
So
I have a
it has
question,
a front and a back end.
There you go. I was hoping someone would go there.
Wow.
Dean, what's your question?
Okay, so obviously the hobbits are small and the dwarves are a little bigger.
Yes.
How do they scale like Gandalf to this?
This isn't particularly to scale. Like Lego scale, you know, the hobbits aren't like.
Do they have like smaller legs like the Grogu?
They have,
or something?
yeah, they have smaller. They're not tiny little tiny figs. They're just like they put them on the kids' legs, so they are a little bit shorter, but they're not like like Lego scale. Lego just
right.
doesn't really.
No, I know that, but
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how they got around making the hobbits small.
Yeah, they use, and then the dwarves are the same height basically. They just use the half high legs. But I am super stoked. Like this is like a dream mock, and so to finally be able to have all the parts coming in is super exciting.
Do they make all the dwarves?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, I have all the dwarves. So basically, my plan is in the front to do the scene where Frodo and Sam are leaving Bag End, right next to the door, and then on the top right, I wish my mouse would show up, but on the top right where the Gandalf minifig is standing, I'm gonna move the bench from behind the window to the front so I can get that Hobbit scene. And then in the back, I'm gonna have all the dwarves eating in the kitchen, and then in the main space by the door, put the ring by the door, like when it's dropped there. So I'm pretty excited to have this. It's gonna be like super fun to build, and definitely can't wait. I also got something from Dean. It was part of our trade for the Guts Berserk Figma. It's the Asmus. I believe this is the Helm's Deep Legolas. It's the one that just came out. Really solid figure. I don't really know how deep into the Fellowship I'm going to get. I do want an Aragorn and a Gimli and a Frodo, but Gimli's kind of expensive. And I kind of missed my shot to get Aragorn when Rayner sold his. So, I'm not really trying to get it for full price, to be honest. So might just be Legolas for a bit, but yeah, it's a good figure. I think Dean just kind of wanted the some money for the guts that he was getting, and also to get that Figma that he's been after for a while. So ended up working pretty good. I was able to get it for pretty good price, and with this new space, I have a little bit less room for displaying everything. So the Figma guts just didn't make the cut when I have like a 2.5, 3 foot tall quarter scale guts behind me. So I think it ended up being a pretty reasonable trade, and I think we're both pretty happy with it.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into the news. So we'll start with Sideshow. They dropped their Clone Wars Yoda. This is 165, releasing December 2022 to March 2023. I think it looks great. I think it looks, as good as one could want this figure to look. I looked at the listed height, and it's technically a little bit too tall, but I think all the Yodas are probably a bit too tall on 6 scale, so I can give it a pass on that. Doesn't come with a ton. You get a few different hands, you get different feet, you get a tiny little stick, and you also get a lightsaber. But it's ripped right off the screen. The sculpt is perfect. I imagine they had access to some digital files to make this. We said it last week. I think it really just comes down to how good this body's going to be and how decently they can replicate this paint job. But I don't think, no pun intended, but I don't think it's a particularly tall task for Sideshow to knock this one out of the park.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Yoda design from Clone Wars, that being said, I think they nailed it on this. I think this could stand to be probably about $40 cheaper. Does it even come with a base? I don't even. It's not solicited with one.
I will double check, but usually they do.
It's like 3 sets of hands, 2 sets of feet, and a saber, and it's like, after shipping, this is and tax, it's gonna be $200 figure. Like, absolutely not. Like, this should be $160 tops after everything included. This should be a $120 figure all day. I think it's a little too expensive, but if you need a Yoda and you're liking the Clone Wars line, I think this is a home run.
Yeah, I would say they could have. I still say it's a little stylized from the cartoon, but I think it looks better like this than it like Dean said. I'm not a big fan of the exact way he looks in the actual animated series, but this looks like that's what it's from, and they did it in a way, like in a 3D way, that's probably not the easiest to do in my opinion. A lot of it's probably paint, the way that they're able to do it, like the shading in the cracks of his head.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty well done. Not my cup of tea. I like kind of the more realistic looking things from Clone Wars, like the Ahsoka and stuff like that. But I think this looks good for those guys that love this.
Jumping in just real quick, it does come with a flight stand.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, the thing with Sideshow, they always get their flack for their bodies. So this is completely re-engineered. This is kind of the first body we're getting from them at this size, correct?
No, they've done, I think, 2 or 3 Yodas before. I don't think this is their Jawa body. I think that one's a bit taller. But yeah, this is like their 3rd Yoda that they've done.
So this line
this could be a new body for Yoda, because it was so long ago.
This line has a lot of potential. If they're able to...
Knowing them, it's the same one.
Yeah, unfortunately. If they're able to knock this out of the park, then there's a lot of potential for this animated line, and people go crazy for it, because when they put the Obi-Wan and the Anakin up, it looked amazing. It's just the bodies that we worry about. I think this is cool. Like I said, I'm down for it. I'm down for different. This is innovative. It's going down a route that we haven't seen. So there's a lot of potential here. Price point, Dean, I think for this day and age, 165. I've seen some pretty bad figures that some other companies have put out for almost double the price. So I don't know. I'm okay with the price point, but we'll see. We have to see some in hand, maybe an out of the box unboxing on one of their live shows to really get a feel for it.
Yeah, exactly, John. This is a wait and see, much like the rest of the line. They've got a huge hit on their hands potentially if they get this right. So here's to hoping that they've put in the time and the effort to really, get new bodies, make sure that these are quality figures. Again, the price point seems legit based on how expensive these 6-scale figures are these days. So I don't really have a huge problem with that. And overall, I think it looks good. But again, just a wait and see mode on this whole line.
All right. I think, John, you're right. This is potential to be a huge, huge line. And it kind of reminds me with Asmus, where it's like, man, when they play to their strengths, like they really can do some special stuff. And I think Sideshow has the potential to really just blow this line out of the water. And for me, it just keeps going back to the quality of the bodies. So that remains to be seen. I don't think the 165 price point's too bad. I think when I first started collecting, was it 4 or 5 years ago, the Hot Toys Yoda, which did have a diorama, so I'll give it that, but that was about 180, 190. So 5 years worth of inflation, a full figure with a flight stand coming in at 165. To me, with a potentially fully re-engineered body, and none of this stuff is off-the-shelf parts, right? These aren't just generic hands that they can swap in and out. This is, brand new sculpted feet, brand new sculpted hands, a new sculpted head. I think the price is more than fair, in my opinion. But I guess we'll have to see how that all turns out in December to March. Hot Toys did drop the classic Loki. This has been teased by them since December, so about 4 months worth of tease. This was $285, releasing April to September 2023. There was not a deluxe or a more premium version offered. It's pretty much what you get is what you got. 2 portraits, one smiling, one stern. And I think everything about this looks really solid. I think the portrait looks amazing. I think the suit looks pretty good. My one complaint is that the boots appear, at least to me, to be single part boots. Not a huge, not a huge fan of that. I think that's going to hinder articulation. But these portraits, I think they're really, really solid. I think this is probably the best smiling Hot Toys portrait that I've seen. I know we kind of rag on some of their past attempts like Ant-Man. This looks fucking amazing. You also get Alligator Loki. One thing to note though, in quite a few of the photos, they do have this goblet with Loki. And on Hot Toys' website and on their Facebook, they say, according to the licensor's latest instructions, the drinking cup accessory needs to be canceled. Therefore, it will not be included for the 1/6 scale classic Loki collectible figures final product. Dean, or anyone else, what do you guys think about this?
That seems odd. Why specifically the cup? I guess they didn't say.
They didn't say, but that was the licensor's discretion there.
That's weird. Other than that, this thing is phenomenal looking. That shrink ray sculpt, bro. Like, and especially the smiling sculpt, that they don't usually nail those. This one knocked it out of the park. This thing looks amazing. Not big enough fan of Loki to want this. But he was a great character in the show. I love the little alligator Loki. That's so cute. And also the Throg. Super cute. Yeah, I think this is amazing. I think if anybody wants this figure, this is a no-brainer. I think it's a pretty solid release. I like it.
Dean, I just want to echo what you said about the smiling sculpt because I do think they nailed it. And we'll see what the final product looks like, but I'm glad that they keep trying, right? Because they get flack for whenever they don't do like a stoic look and it doesn't come out quite right, but they got to keep trying, got to keep innovating. This seems like the perfect figure to gamble on too, right? They're giving you 2, so if one of them's not your cup of tea, you can go back to the default. And yeah, this is a figure that maybe not a ton of people will care about, even though it does look great. So I'm glad that they keep trying it and want to see this more often. Just different expressions.
If Hot Toys can keep doing sculpts like that one on like his smiling one, that is definitely the way to go. Like whoever they use, I haven't looked up the artist, but whoever they use there did an amazing job sculpting that, because that seems typically, because Hot Toys strong suit usually is on the paint end, right? Especially with older people, but I guess they do older people fairly well, but almost always stoic. But that is amazing. I'm like Dean, I'm not big into this character or the show in general. I like the show. I just wasn't like I need a figure from it, I guess. Right. John, sorry, you were talking. I think you were on mute.
Yeah, that's cool. No, we give Hot Toys. I'll speak on behalf of myself. I give Hot Toys a lot of flack, a lot of the time. But every once in a while, they'll come and just hit a home run. This is wow. I remember watching Loki, and when I saw this character, the first thing I thought of is, I want some sort of representation of him in the collection, just because it's great actor, number one, and although it wasn't too much involvement in the show, just iconic. This is perfect. That portrait looks like you literally took the face off the actor and just put it on the figure. If final production looks like that, I say this could be a contender for the figure of the year, or at least portrait of the year. Absolutely stunning. Ninja said something funny earlier. See if I can find it. Oh yeah, there you go. He says it's the goblet there was the Holy Grail, removed on religious grounds.
I would not be surprised. Also, I was gonna say, between the two sculpts, there's no loss of likeness. I know sometimes like the smiling sculpt, you'll be like, I guess it kind of looks like the guy, like the Paul Rudd one. Like the teeth just throw it off. It's like it doesn't really look like Paul Rudd, or sometimes maybe between the two sculpts, like the Captain America's with his screaming face. I can never see Chris Evans in those sculpts, but this one, both sculpts are spot on. This thing is incredible.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, sometimes, like, and I don't mean it in a bad way, because sometimes they can look like two different people, but still, like, if you would see one in a vacuum, you'd be like, okay, that's that character making that face. Then you see the other one, you're like, okay, that's that character, I can see it in the face. But then you put them up against each other, and they're like, oh yeah, that's looks like two different characters sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point.
You know, one more interesting piece, and this is about competition, right? This seems like the direct response to So-So, only in that it's almost like one for one what they were releasing, right? In terms of the accessories, and comes with the alligator, comes with the Throg. So it's just kind of funny to me that it's almost like they took it one for one and releasing this, which I'm glad they are, because it looks great.
Escalation's not a bad thing. I think when companies compete against each other, I think it brings out the best in everyone. Yeah, this is fantastic. Absolute shrink ray of a portrait. And the fact that you're getting basically three, not three Lokis, but three characters, because you got Throg, Alligator, Loki, and Classic. Definitely awesome. I'll be honest, I don't know if that was a joke about the Holy Grail. I never finished this series. I just couldn't get back into it after like a week of not finishing it. So I don't know if this goblet is actually the Holy Grail, or, you know, it's just supposed to be like a cup. But yeah, that's so odd that they would remove it.
It would make sense that it was.
I think that's exactly what it is. Whoever made that comment, let's know if that was a joke or not, because it honestly makes sense to me.
Here's Ninja.
Hot Toys also teased the Electro from Spider-Man No Way Home. This is the third villain they've done from this film. I think their fifth or sixth figure, with no signs of any of the other Spider peoples, so that's very interesting to see there. But this is, you know, it's going to be the Electro from the movie. I think we all kind of saw this one coming, and I'm excited to see another licensed Jamie Foxx portrait.
Yeah, this is cool. It's just, I feel like Hot Toys always has more shit coming out than actually out. So, like, although it's cool to see, it's also kind of annoying. It's like, guys, put the shit out that's supposed to be out already. But that being said, other than that minor annoyance, this looks like it'd be a pretty solid release. Very intricate figure, a lot of detail. Again, Jamie Foxx, really cool. Probably one of the cooler characters in the movie. Yeah, this is cool. I don't know if I would add it to the collection, but it's not one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, oh, I would never add that. It's like, oh, if I might. So
yeah, it's cool to see them still coming out with stuff with that movie. But like you said, Zach, it's weird that we haven't seen the other Spider-Mans, but it's not just Hot Toys, it's literally everything we haven't seen that on. So I'm hoping that something just gets approved and then the floodgates open with those other Spider-Man figures. That's kind of what I'm hoping on. But yeah, I don't know. The villains are, to me, one of the most enticing parts of this movie. I think I would pass on this guy. I am glad to see, like in the movie, how strong they made him, because I think this guy was always a super strong Spider-Man villain. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, it'll be cool to see, but I don't know if I'll get it.
Yeah, it was nice to see them reimagine the character in the movie. This has a lot of potential. I'm with you, Dylan. I don't think you're gonna see it in the collection either. You know, I'm almost at the point with Hot Toys where I kind of think they should just eliminate the whole teaser process. unless they're doing it with like how they did with the Batman, where they tease let's say the Batmobile with the figure in the background, or the bike or so forth, like that. Just because it's like, okay, we watched Spider-Man already. It's been how many months? Now you're giving us a teaser. How much longer are we going to wait for the full reveal? After the full reveal, how much longer are we going to have to wait to actually get it in hand? It's like, yeah, it's super exciting to see it up on the screen as a teaser. But then by the time you get it in hand, it's like, well, I watched Spider-Man 2 years ago. Am I still as excited as I was when I first saw the teaser? So I think they really need to tighten that gap between them showing us the prototype or the teaser on screen and us getting it in hand.
Yeah, this is one that I'm really interested to see the final pictures, because the more I think about it, the more this figure could be a big miss. Only in that, on paper it sounded like awesome. It's Jamie Foxx, it's Electro, but I hate the plastic bits, like the electric effects on some of the figures. They just kind of look cheap. So I don't know how you do an Electro and make him look sweet. Like, I'm really concerned that this might just end up looking like a lot like a toy, especially with the jointed arms.
Like a Dragon Ball figure arts with that electric.
Especially Marco around the eyes. The plastic around the eyes there.
Yeah, you're right, John.
I was going to say that there's some smaller companies that seem to do effects better than Hot Toys for whatever reason. Storm is one.
That's fair.
I've seen some good Mafex ones, but those can kind of be a little bit gaudy at times. But like Mafex's effects are really cool.
Yeah.
Like this effect is the same we're getting from the Whiplash that we got from Iron Man.
Or the Miles.
And the Palpatine as well.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, but those weren't particularly good. Like the Miles ones, I've never seen them used where I'm like, dang, that looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
But the Miles is such a good figure, it could stand by itself, right? I'm not sure this one can.
Yeah, that's true. But the Miles is like, that's a thing the character does. Like, this is the only thing this character does, is like have electricity shooting all over the place. So, yeah.
Because it won't even light up. It doesn't even light up.
Yeah, potentially. Tukatri says, I don't think this will look that cool once all the Photoshop has been removed. So right there on the David Jones says that you nailed it. Yeah, I think, Dean, great point.
Does it ever...
you're showing us 2-3 figures a week, and you're releasing less than one. What were you saying, Dean?
Yeah. Oh, does it ever explain how he can fly? They just use
I think it's kind of, you just suspend disbelief. It's like Thor, he just throws the hammer really hard.
It's electromagnetic.
Grabs on.
I was going to say, John, there's some science behind there for sure.
April Fools saw a Marvel.com leak of the Hot Toys Moon Knight. This was quickly taken down, and we saw plenty of screenshots verifying it. And within a few hours, Hot Toys kind of posted their own teaser. I think there was only 2 pretty good photos that were shown. It was this one here and this one here. I imagine there's going to be some light up function in the portrait to get these glowing eyes. Looks like a wired cape. And, I'll be honest, I know nothing about Moon Knight. We'll talk about it later, but I love the show. If this is a good enough show, like I might be interested. This costume design is fucking incredible.
100%.
What do you guys
Yeah, I'm with you. I know little to nothing about this character. The show is, I've only seen the first episode and it's cool, but like I don't know if I would be like, yeah, I need a Moon Knight figure, right? I need to see the rest of the show. I'm not a huge fan of the arms, the way they plug into the body. It looks very action figure-y, which, I love action figures, but that's not really why I do 6 scale, right? Mm-hmm. I could understand why they did it this way. Like, I'm not like knocking them for doing it this way. Like, I get it, but like just aesthetically, it's like not really why I do 6 scale. But I might love the show so much that I don't give a shit. So we'll see. We'll see how the show turns out, but this looks cool. Like you said, the outfit design is pretty incredible. So just gotta watch the show.
Yeah, this is, if anyone tunes into Small Talk, they know this is probably my favorite all-up Marvel character, and I've always liked him a lot because of how weird he is overall. So, and like different than like the typical lighthearted super strong Marvel character that we're used to. It's a different type of character overall. But this figure looks really good. The one thing I was a little bit confused by, so you see obviously like bunching in the legs there, like they tried to make it kind of a one-piece suit. I don't know why there would be a reason to have to do that. I feel like you wouldn't have to, and maybe that is on just the pants, but like he's wrapped in cloth, so why couldn't you do that instead?
Yeah, it is confusing to tell what materials they've used, right?
Right. Yeah, we'll have to see when it comes out. But I'm excited. I have said after Endgame I'm probably done with Marvel. Maybe apart from a Spider-Man villain or two like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, I don't know. But this one would for sure get me back into it for Hot Toy Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I think this one, it has to come with the Oscar Isaac head sculpt, right? If they don't include a head sculpt, then there's no point for me. I think knowing that he's a Hot Toys collector, we gotta do the man some justice and finally give him a fair.
So no head?
Yes, that's probably my favorite clip y'all play. Amazing. So yeah, I think that's, and I know there's a different iteration of Moon Knight, right? There's like the Mr. Knight. I'm not a Moon Knight head, so I'm wondering if we maybe get two different versions, and if maybe that one they'd give a head sculpt since this is a more classic look. But I think that would be the biggest selling point for me, because without it, it's a cool looking figure, and I like the design of the suit, but it's all just kind of monotone. So I don't know how well it's going to work in hand.
Well, what if like in the show he never takes off was it a mask? You know what I mean? Like with the Mandalorian, he takes the helmet off, you see Din Djarin's face. What if he doesn't do that in the show?
I see what you mean.
Well, there's the transforming. You could give us like the Venom, right? You could give us a transforming head sculpt at the end of the day too.
I guess that could work.
Yeah,
but I hear what you're saying, dude.
We're gonna see the motherfucker's face.
That's the thought. Yeah.
I mean, Paramount Plus. I got to see Master Chief's face for fucking 25 minutes. So,
oh my god.
But I don't know. I need to see more from this figure. The show's so far, we'll talk about it, but I'm enjoying it. But this figure, no. Dean took the words right out of my mouth. The shoulders, that peg there, no, it's just not hitting very well. We'll see. I don't want to be too negative. I want to see more, but like this photo here looks pretty good.
Yeah, John, I think it's just that photo. I think it's because the chest is overlapping the arms, but it looks like a one-piece thing, right? You can see the stitching right at the chest level.
I gotta wait to see more. It has potential. We'll leave it at that.
I think they did the hood really well too. Like the one thing, like I really like Assassin's Creed, but the figures with that little widow's peak thing, they always look really goofy. This looks, I think, really good. And the weathering, I think that can't be understated. Like weathering white is kind of difficult, so it looks well worn, but also not artificial. It's kind of hard to explain, but it looks really natural.
Looks like aged cloth. Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't just look like they just dunked that shit in some dirty water or something. Like it actually looks pretty solid. But yeah, I mean, it really remains to be seen what we're going to get from this. And hopefully we have a teaser soon. I know a lot of people were saying the cool factor of this figure would be whether or not, which it doesn't look like it is, but the I'm not even going to pretend to know what they are, but the Moonarangs, I think is what I've heard them being called. Apparently they're supposed to come from the chest piece, kind of like the new Batman. I think the Mezco version does that, but some people were saying they were really hoping that feature was implemented. So we will see once we get the full reveal.
Good shout on the hood, because that's the issue. That's one of the issues with the Mezco one, which by the way is one of my favorite figures of all time, but a lot of people complain that the hood is like a different material. It looks like it's a different material than the soft goods. So yeah, they blend that well.
Yeah, Sam and Two Country make great points. Sam says we need to see if the show sucks or not first. True. And Two Country says Pennywise prototype was weathered too. We all saw how that turned out. That is also very true. Inart did show the work in progress photo of the Batman sculpt. Later in the show, we'll show the painted. So sit tight with us here, but these are some of the photos from that reveal. I think the hair sculpt, I think, is the best part of this prototype. Very fine in the details there, and It also pushed Hot Toys, I think, in my opinion, to make some changes on theirs. Again, we'll talk about that after the break. What do you guys think about this portrait? I think it looks pretty stunning.
I feel like the one that's head on looks kind of off, but the one that's like top 3/4 down,
Yeah.
I think that looks spot on. I think that looks just like Robert Pattinson, but the one where you're looking directly into his eyes doesn't. I don't know. Maybe painted it'll look better. Just my learned opinion.
Yep, I'm here. I think it looks better. think it looks better than the Hot Toys one, to be frank. It has a lot of potential. We're going to talk a little bit about Inart and from a business perspective a little bit later. But from what we're seeing here with this prototype here, unpainted, it has a lot of potential. I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, I'll talk a bit more about the face sculpt and how I feel versus Hot Toys, I guess, when we talk about the painted version and Hot Toys tees. But I think the hair, they got this perfectly. Like that Prime 1 statue was kind of, the Prime 1 and Blitzway statue was kind of the first statue I've really looked at in earnest. Like, okay, there's something I want to add to my collection. Haven't pulled the trigger yet. And this kind of captures exactly what I love from that. So I think they nailed it on that piece.
Yeah, I completely agree there. We will talk about the painted prototype here in just a second. I did just want to show this off real quick. I know a few of you guys know I collect Nendoroids. The Batman Nendoroid was put up for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store. $75 buys you that, releasing December 2022. You have an en-masse portrait, the card, a mini Batmobile, and the Nendoroid stand is painted black, which I think is pretty cool. I'm thinking to order it. This would be my fifth Nendoroid, so definitely tempted to get that. And the price is fairly reasonable.
The car accessory there is cool. To add a little more dimension off the base. That's cool. I like that.
You could also have like a mini Queen Studios. You could just put your Nendoroid on top of that, and then you got a mini Queen Studios. John, 1/6 Corner keeps lights on. Let's hear about that.
Yeah, 1/6 Corner. We want to thank them. Their mission is to provide the best figures and collectibles to their customers. They offer great prices, great packaging, fast shipping, best in the business customer service. All you fine people, Collecting Weekly listeners, get 10% off in-stock figures while our show is live using code that's CW10, capital C, capital W, 10. You choose your figures, pay safely with PayPal, and leave the rest to them.
Thank you very much. Now, our discussion of the week is Escalation. I did want to put it... I did want to call it maybe like Figure Wars or whatever, but it was a bit... Like, it was quite a bit to put under that banner. But obviously, Queen, through their Inart line, showed us their painted Pattinson sculpt. And holy Jesus, I think Marco nailed on the head when he said this really captured that Prime 1 look. Which, to me, like, I know some people in the chat are saying, like, why would you ever display this? Like, I get it. I would only have the statue, and I'm not really going to spend, that much on the statue just to display the portrait. But holy shit, this looks fucking good. And especially if this is their lower tier, $350 entry level version of the figure, this looks absolutely incredible. The fineness in the hair, I think, was significantly lacking on the Hot Toys original. And we called that out when it went up for order. But this portrait, in my opinion, obviously it's just a few angles that we've gotten. I think it definitely pushes the bar as to what a portrait of our Pats could look like in any scale. I think this is right up there with the best of them. Here's a few more angles there. I don't love the side profile here from the right side. There's something about it. It looks too flat to me. I felt like his chin was maybe a bit more pronounced, but I could be wrong. Obviously, they've probably looked at much more references than I ever would. And the back of the head does look the shape does look a bit off. Hot Toys did respond that they are doing an updated hairstyle to their 1/6 scale figure, and I think they're definitely trending more towards that more finer hair than what they had solicited originally. Their statement was, to stay faithful in character screen appearance, Hot Toys team has invested significant time and effort into refining tiny details on prototype figures, including the 1/6 scale Batman collectible figure from the Batman Collection series. The updated Bruce Wayne sculpt brings variations in his hair sculpture, which reflects our extreme requirements with delicate and lifelike details. So let's chat about that for a second. There's more stuff with Queen that we're going to chat about. But what do y'all think comparing those two different showings so far?
Yeah, to me it looked like the Hot Toys updated one. It looked kind of very anime.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked like an anime character. I wasn't buying it compared to the Inart one. You see what I mean? Like it goes out and then like kind of up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just the Inart one looks that much better. That painted version definitely sold me. Yeah, that looked really good. And like Zach said, like if that's the lower tier one, I mean, $350 is still kind of a lot, but that looked good. Looked really fucking good.
Yeah, these look great. Of course, the Inart one, is stunning. I just, guys, like, I don't understand why a company is telling me to stay faithful. Why are we bringing? Why do I have to be faithful? Have faith in you. How about you show me the product that I'm gonna get, or show me a half decent prototype so that I don't have to have faith. I can see what's there. Like, I don't understand why you're telling me have faith, be faithful. I don't get that. Inart's coming in swinging. Their product, look, listen. Their prototypes are stunning. They're gorgeous, close to perfection. We haven't seen anything in hand. And again, we'll talk about it a little bit later in the show. So far, business, the way they're conducting business, very poor. But when it comes to showing prototypes on a screen, absolutely stunning, knocking it out of the park. So on this one, I'm going to put my money on the Inart version so far from what we're seeing.
I'm right there with you. I think the Inart is in the lead right now. Obviously, we don't have any other products in hand, so we don't know what the final is going to look like. I could nitpick on each one, like, okay, well, I don't like this and this. I just am really excited that we're getting two that I think at the end of the day, these products are going to be so much more superior because they're not operating in a bubble and they're, again, escalating, competing against each other. For me, for a character that I love, like I'm all in on the Hot Toys one. I'm all in on the Inart one. Unless it's like $2,000 with the Batmobile, then I might, have to sleep on it. But yeah, I know. Hope they don't. But, still even then probably. But yeah, just really, really excited for this competition. Like this is great work already from both companies. So, and the updates, like this is just the start of it.
Yeah, this will be interesting. There's so many companies that I feel like has a license for this. It'll be cool. I'm not looking into really either one. Like, I don't really have a reason to be faithful in Inart yet either. Like what Eddie keeps saying, that they haven't proved, or I think Marco, you've said that quite a bit, where they haven't proved anything to anyone yet either. So, but prototype wise, yeah, I would say it probably looks better. The one thing that's seems to be interesting is because of the options that they've done for their Joker, that it makes people forget how expensive, almost like not forget, but more forgivable to how expensive their lowest tier is. Like a solid $100 more than Hot Toys overall. I feel like just because they also have a $600 or $700 one and a $1,000 one.
In their
it
own
seems
market, though, the Joker was like $270, right? And then by the time it gets to us, it's closer to $350.
And the accessories are all die cast.
Which what diecast does he have on the regular?
On
version?
the Joker, the guns, the knife, the magazines.
Magazines are die
the bullets are individual, something like that.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it's really stupid how intricate the fucking gun is.
But yeah, it's not a ton of diecast. I mean,
but I hear
like
your point, Dylan. By
it.
having like an extra premium version, it makes the lower end like, oh, that's nothing compared to $1,100.
Yeah, and I understand, like, it's supposed to be, like, in Hong Kong, it obviously is cheaper, but so is Hot Toys. Hot Toys is that much cheaper over there usually, too. So, it's all relative. But, yeah,
I don't know.
we'll have to see.
You look at 270 for that Joker, and then you look at what was it? 275 for that Loki. I don't know, man. With all the innovation that was put into that figure, I just think that it's time that Hot Toys wakes up and we can start getting some innovation out of them and you know, cool things. Like now they're getting all community based and saying, "Oh, look, have faith in us. We're gonna put it out." Where were those comments with other concerns that we had? You know, we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Someone had that comment in there as well, that it's good to see them pushing on the kind of public end of just on the public end of things too. Like I've always knocked Hot Toys for years that they have zero communication, and they're improving slowly with that, and hopefully this makes it even better with what God knows Queen Studios is doing. Jesus.
Sam says the jail is diecast too. I believe the jail is only in the 2-pack, if I'm not mistaken. 2-pack non-rooted and then 2-pack.
Right. Yeah.
Now there was a bit of a misstep, 2 missteps with Queen this week. The first, this was by Nicole Hendo. She said someone posted about Queen Studios corner scale Joker 300 artist version. Queen promoted during the pre-order saying all of them are painted and rooted by Viper, which was photo 1. But after the final product release, people see differences versus the prototype. Queen's now saying they changed it to painted and rooted rather by Viper's team instead of Viper himself. And distributors announced yesterday that 1/6 scale Jokers are available for pre-order again, including the rooted version, which was promoted as 72-hour limited version. And of course, obviously 1/6 kit, a bunch of other websites open that 3-day window up again. 1/6 kit saying pre-order opens again for people who missed the 3-day window. John did make a video. I do want to read some of the comments, if that's all right with you, John, from the video. It went quite, I don't want to say viral because the views were about normal, but the interaction from the fans I think was pretty incredible. Bob Dylan says, not able to independently verify this, but I was told by one Hong Kong reseller that due to a particular reseller site keeping the pre-order up past the window, Queen felt that other resellers were put at an unfair disadvantage and decided to allow the orders to be taken for everyone and every site. You can guess which site didn't play by the rules. Lots of people agreeing with John. Semi says, I agree with you, man. Company should keep their word to not lose credibility. Wasn't a nice move from them. On the opposite side of the fence, Gary, Sweet Angel Hicks says, happy for collectors getting another chance at the figure. It was about 80-20 in support. Some goobers in the comments, but generally speaking, I think there was some great comments here. Pudgy, a little bit of a long comment here, but very, very good. He says, the manipulation and mock limited window of availability does indeed suck. I unfortunately have learned to never take anyone at their word when money is involved. I always take a show me approach, from contractors and car salesmen to insurance companies to corporate-owned news media, etc. When it comes to finances as a consumer, I assume everyone is full of crap until they earn my confidence. Makes for a pleasant outcome when they prove me wrong. Goes on to continue there, but Anthony from Six Gal Mafia says he agrees with you, John. He was surprised that other peers, I assume within the streamer community, casually shrugged it off like it was not a big deal. Fig Fate says, I think it's pretty messed up. I made sure to order within 3 days despite me not being financially ready to do so. Would have waited had I known it was going to be put back up for order. And that was the sentiment with a lot of our Patreonies. Some people were making figure moves to pick it up. Obviously, this isn't a necessity purchase by any means, but if you have 3 days to make $100 between pay periods, which was kind of on a weird day that they dropped it, I totally have felt that pressure before. We did reach out to Queen Studios for a formal statement. We did hear back from their customer service relations manager that he is going to get us a formal statement. Though informally, they said that they were surprised by what some of the companies are saying, or that are rumored to be saying, that they did not instruct any company to reopen any orders. But they're going to, as far as he was aware, rather, he says, let me check for a full official response and we'll prepare a reply for you and our other groups to clear things up. So we should have something from Queen relatively soon. I will say, I when this episode started, because I got this email mid-show, I was pretty disappointed that several emails I had sent had gone unresponded. But the fact that they responded, they're going to get us a statement, I think is pretty neat. I'm not willing to write it off just yet, but I think that's a small consolation. Now, John, outside of this video, you were very upset on the 1/6 Kit Facebook page, and I'll let you kind of share your thoughts on everything before I share mine.
I don't necessarily want to bring certain people into it. Look, I'll start off with this. I like to give my opinion on everything, so I accept everyone's opinion. And I get into some things that I know people are like, what is this guy talking about? But I'm going to tell you something right now. Some of the comments that I read, even after I did that, hold on, what did he say? What's Mario saying?
Mario's saying, Johnny, which is the gentleman that I spoke with today, is on Joao's stream saying it was the resellers that opened the orders back up. The China orders from Inart are still closed. So the
okay, so from what I heard, so I'm going to address that because I spoke to some people as well, and I heard differently. So I'm going to get to that. My first thing is the comments after I did that video, the comments that I've read in the community were just like, wow, are you serious? Like, did you just not watch what I was explaining? It's not that I'm an elitist collector. It's not that I don't want other collectors to be able to get it. It's not that. It's the fact that, and I use the word forced because we were forced, okay? If you wanted the Joker, the deluxe Joker, if you wanted that figure, it stated 3-day window only. After the 3 days, it'll be removed. Which, if we want to pull up Webster's dictionary, means I was forced, if I wanted that deluxe, to order within the 3-day window. So don't come at me saying you're not forced, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Baloney. You were forced. It was a cash grab. Okay, that's number one. Second, the comments were, holy Matt, you're an elitist, you're selfish, What are you talking about, buddy? If I put my money down, and I'm not just speaking on my behalf either. I'm speaking for other collectors because people have reached out to me. Oh, I had to sell this figure and to get the deposit or this and that. Guess what? I only put $100 down, so I'm fine. The point here is, how about the guys who paid in full, or the guys who put $200 down, 20% down, and had to pull strings to make that money? It's none of your business whether or not, well, if you can't afford a figure, you shouldn't buy it. That's none of your business. The business here is, the company put out a statement, we followed the statement, but the company didn't follow the statement. So now I was squeezed to make that money. Great, all these collectors get the accessibility to the figure now. That's fine. But how about the stress that I went through? And I'm not, when I say I am saying the people that essentially had to be stressed in the community. Where do I get compensated for that? Like, how is that treating the collector? From what I heard, there's been rumors, this and that this company didn't follow proper protocol. That company didn't. From what I heard, it was Queen knew. Queen, so these resellers can order directly from Queen. Open order still, directly from Queen. And the only difference is it's only for international purchasers. For China, it's shut down. In China, they can't. Anybody purchasing from China, they cannot. It's only for the international buyers that Queen is accepting the orders from these resellers. That's what I heard from a source. Does that make sense? Not necessarily, considering technically internationally we shouldn't even be able to get these. But I've also heard people in the community saying the handcuffs. Well, you order the first round, you're going to get the exclusive handcuffs. No, you're not. If you order today, you're apparently going to get the handcuffs as well. There's no excuse for this. There's no excuse for this. The other thing that I'm upset about, okay, is the fact that Hong Kong, Queen's in Hong Kong, right? So they're ahead of us by a business day or whatever. How many, Queen came out when they were soliciting this figure and Inart, we're going to have a two-way open communication. We're going to be so communicative with you guys. No problem. They made it seem like they were the company to invest in. buddy, we're in like how many days has it been? 2-3 days? Everybody's been on a rampage. I know at least 6 other streamers and resellers that have been messaging Queen. They haven't been getting back to anybody. And 3 days in, and John's messaging you saying, well, I'm going to take it to the higher ups and still get a response for you. Buddy, you were well aware that these resellers, if Queen had no involvement in this, you're well aware that these resellers are putting the item back up to market. You should have been out the next business day saying, hey guys, this is just to let you know, we have nothing to do with this. This is just the resellers. I think it's a crock of baloney. I think they have a lot of potential with the product that they're putting out. But so far, customer service wise, and this stunt that they're pulling, they got to nip it in the butt now, because this is the same shit Hot Toys pulls, and they're supposed to be different. I don't want to be seeing this shit with other pre-orders, or else it's not worth it.
John,
one last thing, because I know I'm going on a rant. Damn. This is chatter that matters, guys.
Meat on the bone, John. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I know. I'm being very selfish.
No,
I feel like Queen right now.
Okay.
I love it.
Secondly, I fucking sick and tired of hearing this elitist shit. What I collect... Oh, 2 things. This elitist shit. What I collect is no one's business. The way I collect is no one's business. Number 1. Number 2. What was I going to say? Fuck. I'll go back to this. The way I collect is no one's business. If I want to buy a figure because there's only 3 of them made, or I want to be selfish and make sure I have a limit, that's no one's fucking business. That's my prerogative. That has nothing to do with this situation. This situation, and why I was getting upset was, I think people, because they had to go through a stressful situation and it was altered, the pre-order was altered, they should be able to get their NRD back. That was it. Yeah, I do like that. I'm paying $1,000. $1,200. By the time that figure gets to me, I'm paying $1,200. Damn right that thing should be a little limited, you know? They're putting out 3 versions. The basic version, the sculpted version, and the deluxe version. You're painting this picture that the deluxe version is, oh my god, Viper is fucking going in there and pinning every thread of hair to over 6,000 orders. You're painting this beautiful picture. And then you pull a stunt like this. Yeah, I went with the most expensive one because you would figure that would be a limited. They made it, they didn't number it, but they gave it a limited time frame. So I like to collect for exclusivity. I'm gonna go with that. They're giving me that option. Don't be telling me I'm selfish. Or I had guys telling me you should fucking collect watches, buddy. You should go outside and fly a kite in a thunderstorm. Like, you stupid comments. Fuck.
Dave says, going along with Econ, I'm pretty pissed on the quarter scale Joker. I pre-ordered it because I expected it to be done by Viper and not his team.
Oh.
And he also, T-Rexler adds, Viper isn't doing 6,000 Jokers. Remember, that's 6,000 2-packs. That's 12,000 Jokers, potentially.
Incredible.
John, let me ask you this. Not that it particularly matters, but I know you were kind of take a wait-and-see approach as to whether you canceled your order, and Kit, in all fairness, did reach out to you as well. Was there any resolution with that, or was it just a touch base?
I'm still holding the order. I spoke to Kit. He reached out to me personally. Nice guy. I don't know if he's fluffing my feathers because I fucking put a comment in, and in 11 minutes there was 130 comments. So I don't know if he's fluffing my feathers, because he went in and right after our conversation and shut the comments off. Seems like a nice guy. When I want a Queen product, I'll go through him because he's kind of like, I don't know, he seems reputable to me from what I hear people in the community and so forth. And the fact that he actually interacts seems reputable so far. I even told him, hey, if everything goes well here and I don't see no bullshit, I'll do an unboxing. I'm going to do the unboxing on the show and I'll mention, but if there's funny business here, I'll fucking rake you through the leaves here. I'm holding it so far. It's only $90. So I want to see what the resolution of this is going to be. I want to see what bullshit's going to hit the fan. Now Queen's blaming the resellers, but the resellers are saying it's Queen. I want to see how this is going to pan out. My argument here was for the NRD. If I want to cancel, I should be able to cancel and get my NRD back. End of story. That's it. I didn't appreciate the way he could be a good guy, but then after he started talking, well, you know, I only ask for 10% of the NRD, but when I buy from Queen, I put 20. Well, guess what? But when you put for 10, you're going to get more customers. You're going to get the customer who wants to put the less NRD. So then there were threats. Oh, well, in the future, I'll increase the NRD. Buddy, you do whatever you want to do to run your business. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to. But your clientele, you got to look at the clientele and who's buying from you and so forth. I don't want to know sugarcoating. At the end of the day, this was mishandled, and we need an answer. That's it.
DJ says usually John does have an elitist attitude, and we clown on him in good faith, but this ain't that. John is 100% right in terms of artificially making people pay and stress about not being able to get it.
Can you explain to me elitist? Can you explain to me the elitist? Can you explain to me?
I think sometimes you do have if I can get this, and that's fine. Like I enjoy owning a limited product as well.
Anybody who sits on a panel in a chat and doesn't admit that, to a certain extent,
I will admit that 100%, but I think sometimes you do take it a bit extreme.
Yeah.
And my problem, the reason why I say you're an elitist, and I kind of joke about it with you, is when there's things that are truly limited, like you were complaining, like, man, I can't get this Darth Maul first Cad Bane, and it's like, well, that's a really.
But I love the hunt.
Product. You love the hunt, but you were kind of complaining that it was hard to get. That's kind of where I josh with you. But aside from that, I'm gonna change my name. I do think that. You're 100% right. I think there was a breach of this contract, whether formally or socially, that, hey, this is the price. This is when you have to order it by. If you don't order it by then, you're getting secondhand pricing. You might have to pay double, triple, etc. To me, this would be no less than if Hasbro Pulse tomorrow put up the Razor Crest up for pre-order, right? This exact same thing. You set a date, and that is the date where, you either got it or you don't. For whatever reason, why? John, you mentioned a few times sources. We've heard many sources that said this was from Queen. John from Queen himself is saying that this was not approved by them, and 6K Reviews comments as well. John from QS just said on Joel's stream that QS's window was only 3 days to resellers to put the figure back up. Not approved.
But Zach, if that's the case, then why don't they come out and say, like, hey, we're not taking orders anymore. We had a 3-day window.
If that's the case,
that's something that we talked about last week, I believe, John, when we were talking about the window. It's like, hey, if Joe Schmo orders 10,000 units, but in 3 days he sells, not 10,000, then he can put that up as long as he wants. But the fact that it's sold out everywhere, and then all of a sudden, in the midnight hour, came back up for pre-order almost everywhere within a few hours, to me doesn't sit right. Some of the sources that we've heard said that this was due to Queen not hitting a particular sales goal. And I just, for full transparency, I want to read the email that we sent to Queen, just so everyone can we can all be on the same page as to what we would be getting response from.
If that's the case, then Queen needs to really reevaluate who they're doing business with. Then, if the resellers,
agree.
Yeah.
So I sent this email to John as well as Queen Studio official page. I said, my name is Zach. I'm the host of Collecting Weekly podcast. We've covered your new Inarts Joker quite extensively these past few weeks, and we're hoping to get a statement from you guys in regards to the pre-orders opening back up for the Rooted Hair Joker 2-pack. There are some retailers who are stating that this was done by the direction of your company, perhaps to hit a specific sales goal, which we have heard from more than one source, and I'm hoping we can clarify the following before our Tuesday night show. I know over the last few weeks much has been made about the availability of Queen Studios for questions such as these, and I hope that we're able to get a response soon. 1, was there an edition size goal for the Rooted 2-pack Joker? If so, what was it? 2, were these orders opened back up at the direction of Queen Studios? If so, why? 3, does Queen Studios have any response to those who felt pressure to make a decision on a high-end collectible, even possibly selling parts of their own collection to fund a deposit, only to have to go back up for order on many distributor sites after the 3-day window is passed? 4, when the second round of orders close, and when it closes, will this be closed for good? So we should have a statement hopefully at some point. They just mentioned they were surprised by some of this, but I think Joel, if you guys want to check out his channel, I think he has John on the line live. So that's.
But Zach, why are we sugarcoating crap here? He's fucking he's telling you, oh, we're gonna get you a full statement.
I'm not sugarcoating at all. But
he's on another stream right now, confirming all the details. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, but we didn't invite him to our stream.
We don't have to invite him, but he clearly has authorization to give out details.
I mean, this message was sent about an hour ago, so I don't know when he hopped on Joel's stream. But I will say this: we have a response. They're working on a formal statement for us. that's better than just not having a response. There's been plenty of times, probably no less than a dozen times in 3 years I've emailed Hot Toys for a statement. Probably the same number of times for Sideshow through their Sideshow media relations platform that anyone can reach out for a statement, and I've never even gotten an email back. So for me, John, I know that this isn't the answer that you wanted today right now, but this is, I've been doing this long enough where this is the most, maybe except for like a Jazz Inc. diorama, someone where I can message him directly personally, this is the closest we've gotten to actually having anything from anyone. So I was impressed that they even read the email, to be honest.
That's a good point, Zach.
What's their name was pretty good while they were still in business.
Chronicle.
Yeah, they were great.
She was really
but
open.
I'm with John 100%. I also like what Marco said, where if this wasn't y'all and this was a third party putting the thing back up, why even need a statement, like a formal statement to say like, yo, this wasn't us? It makes no sense at all. I think they didn't meet some kind of sales quota, and they're like, fuck it, put it back up and see if people care. And now that people care, they're like, oh fuck, we got caught with our pants down. That's just what it seems like to me.
Down.
I don't know, wait for the response, but it seems a little fishy.
And Dean, that's exactly why it's so important that John make that video and that we talk about it here. Because
Oh,
if we let
100%.
them off the hook, right, then they'll keep doing this stuff.
Exactly.
If we just shrug it off.
Yeah, this is kind of like, I want to say it was Prime 1. They came out with a Batman bust, and Prime 1 statues are limited. You're paying for the exclusivity, right? The elitistness of it all. And they've re-released that statue. Same sculpt, same everything, but they just changed the paint a little bit. And people are like, okay, that's not that cool. And then they did it again. And I think they ended up doing it like 4 times. It was the exact same fucking statue. They just changed the paint a little bit. And it's like, that's not the agreement I paid when I bought your thing. You gave me 3 days. I have 3 days to buy this fucking thing. Like John said, forced.
Yeah.
If you want it, you got 3 days. Or
That was
you're
2
gonna pay.
sleepless nights for me, bro. I was tossing and turning thinking about this thing.
It's not an insignificant amount of money. $1,500 is a lot of money. Not only on
but still.
collectibles, on fucking anything, right? I mean, you could buy a really nice PC for that kind of money. You could buy a fucking. There's a lot of shit you could spend $1,500 on, right? It's like same thing with Prime 1. I bought this statue because this was it. And now you're giving it out all over again to a bunch of other people. It's the same thing. It's like I made the decision in 3 days to give you my money. Maybe it's $100, maybe you paid it in full. And now Joe Schmo can just, go get it, without any pressure at all. I sold some of my shit for this. Now, Zach is correct. If it is a third party thing, they have every right to sell what they paid for. And that is not Queen Studios' fault. But if it's not, then why don't you just come out and say that right away? Like, this wasn't us. We don't know what this is. But on multiple sources, we have people saying, no, this was direct from Queen Studios to put it back up. So...
Okay. And that's exactly the thing, right, Dean? It's the communication. It's just been too murky for what they're promising, this transparency.
Maybe that's why Hot Toys just
Yeah,
doesn't say anything.
I was just going to
That's why
say.
they don't
It's
say
like, fuck
shit.
it. We're just going to do
John
what
is
we're going
an
to do.
There's a
absolute
reason Hot
madman.
Toys does.
Savage. You know what a savage
He's in
is?
the big.
I'm a
He's in the
fucking
big Breda
savage.
chat
Oh,
right
man.
now, demanding that they pull this shit down tomorrow. What a
And
legend, bro!
I've got a
just
great
said-
analogy, right? Like if you got a new girl, you meet her folks for the first time. Her pop says, have her back by 9. You don't bring her back by 9:01. You get her back by 8:50, right? Like they're trying to make an impression on us, and by having this misstep this early in the game, it's like you're never going to see
bringing the
this
girl back
again.
the next day.
Oh
with
man, yeah,
with a
it
belly
pretty
full
much.
of eggs and your sperm.
Yeah, and you don't even text
Wow.
her dad. Come on.
Yeah, it's bummed. Also, to touch on the whole thing where people calling John an elitist, I think if you're in this hobby, a little bit of you is an elitist, right? Like if you collect Hot Toys, you look at Marvel Legends collectors, you're like, what a noob.
That's how
right?
statue collectors look at us.
I think I like referring to collecting or like the elitist attitude is the joke. Whereas there's two people in the world. People who admit to peeing in the shower and fucking liars. Like if you're not a little bit of an elitist in the collecting community, you might collect statues and you look at Hot Toys collectors like, man, that's chump change. I'm a fucking statue collector. Or, maybe you collect cars. You look at statue collectors like, man, I collect automobiles. Like statue money ain't shit. Like everybody feels a little more elitist to the guy next to them. So
what's funny,
John,
this,
I love you and I accept you.
Should we send John the link from Queen Studios?
Yeah, send him the link. Get him here.
Yeah,
please.
Let's bring him over here. And John, I know like you and I agree on this topic, but for like different reasons, right? You're in it for the exclusivity, and I got into it because I wanted a cool figure and I was put in a time box. But at the end of the day, we agree this is wrong. And I just have to say, like, part of me was excited for the exclusivity. I won't even lie. Like Dean's saying, like, you got to admit, like, hot off the Razor Crest, I was like, oh, it's kind of cool to have, like, a limited
enticing
piece. Yeah, it's like kind of interesting. Like, it made it a little sexier to me. So
Mario hit this on the head. Mario is hit this on the fuck. I just said this in Big Bretta's chat. I was sorry. I zoned out for a second. Because everyone now is like
really
saying, blaming the resellers. If the resellers are saying it was Queen.
Hang on, John.
Hold on.
Before you continue with that, if this guy comes on, have a little bit of tact.
I'll have a little respect. Say, look, you mother.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
If the
Go ahead.
I want my NRD back. If the resellers are saying it was Queen decision to reopen it, then why not show the community the order to do so? As of now, it's kind of what he said, she said. Exactly.
Yeah.
Queen's blaming the resellers. The resellers are blaming Queen. Who the fuck do we believe? Who do we believe? You're coming on a live stream, and you're telling us we're going to give you an official statement, buddy. Don't show your face. Then you're embarrassing the collector. You're spitting in the collector. Come out when you have an answer. Don't buy yourself time. This is buying time. It's either you were involved or you weren't. If your resellers are lying to your customers about you and your product, bro, you need to cut that reseller at the knees right there.
Because but that's the thing. It's not just one reseller saying it. It's multiple.
Exactly.
So like Marco said, it's like, well, if this really was a retailer thing, just come out and say it. But they can't just come out and say it because there's probably a fucking paper trail where these retailers are going to be like, oh, you're going to fucking blame us. Here we go. Here's the email you sent us.
Yeah, we may have to get him on tomorrow on After Dark, but he said he's down to come on. Just not right now. I think he might have to get that statement.
I think he wants to watch
he knows
the
I'm
show
on.
first.
That's okay. I'll show up tomorrow.
Probably.
I'll show up tomorrow.
But again, like John said or Marius, it's all he said, she said. We don't know. It's all speculative.
If it was though something where the resellers were just buying, as much as they wanted and putting it back up, because I'm sure it was like a timed window thing on a lot of their websites. That's probably why it shuts down and why it gets fired back up if that's the case. So if they do that, John, outside of no, hold on, shut up for a second. So like
sorry, love it, Dylan.
So like
pull rank, Dylan.
If the communication doesn't take that out of the picture, but if that's the case, John, does that bother you?
Yeah. So this wasn't a computer thing where it went down and then came back up, because it was 2 days later, 3 days later after it went down, and we got personal emails saying, hey, guess what? Now we can put this back up. Regardless of whether I get what you're saying, Dylan, I still get bothered because the resellers still advocated the 3-day window. If you're a reseller and you know that you ordered more, don't put the 3-day window. Keep it open then. Right? Don't advertise the 3-day window. Like Spec. I don't know if Spec put the 3-day window, but they never pulled it down. These resellers pulled it down and then put it back. Don't pull it down. Keep it there.
So, no, I'm saying I work with e-commerce companies a lot, and there's timers on a listing that they will have to do in certain aspects to keep from overselling, or if there's a window to not do it, and then it has to be a separate listing later on. Now, maybe could have they maybe done that 5 minutes right afterwards? Maybe. But I'm saying that was probably a time thing to make sure that they had understanding of the amount of what to get on what's ordered. Like how much they expect of what's already pre-ordered, and how much to order over that. Because this isn't new for figures. This happens all the time with like P Bandai exclusive with Big Bad Toy Store. They do this all the time with like Mezco's exclusives, SH Figure Arts, all of that.
Yeah,
like
but
that's
we're talking about a huge, massive price difference, and I think a totally different ballgame. I know what you're saying,
but it's the same concept.
I think Sideshow does the same thing.
Take that elitist mindset out,
I'm not going to take the elitist mindset. Okay, fucking relax. Let's tone it down a notch. Let me rip you another asshole now.
Wow.
How Sideshow does it? They set those timers. They set a certain ceiling. When that ceiling hits, it goes to waitlist. And then you'll see, let's say on a Friday, it goes to waitlist. You'll see it Monday go back up. This company advertised 3 days. Say, okay, we're going to do a 3-day window. If we don't meet our pre-orders, then we're going to replace it on the website for order. So that at least we know. Don't say, hey, it's only a 3-day window. If you don't order in 3 days, you'll never get the deluxe again. And then put it up. Tell us. Say, hey, here's a 3-day window so that if we don't hit our pre-orders, we'll put it back on the site available. Is that not fair?
Yeah, like they could have definitely said, if you want your guaranteed order now. Otherwise, like whatever we have left over, we'll put up. But that's not like a normal business practice for anything, really.
There was something underhanded about it, though, Dylan, because I listened to all the streams that John was on, and he was on one that was in Spanish, right? There was a translator on there, so I was able to watch, and I didn't need Gigi for it. But he said, the cutoff's going to be the 20th for retailers to place their order, but, from ordering from us, it is the 3-day window. So that was confusing to me at the time, but it makes a lot more sense now that, it was going to be open for them to place these additional orders. But, where I ordered from, it said, here's the cutoff. It was black and white. And, Queen never did anything to dissuade or to clear up that inconsistency. So
I'm going to make one last statement about this. One last statement, then I'm going to bury it. You know what Queen's scapegoat's going to be? We never put it back up on our site. So now it looks, on website, on paper, it looks like, okay, Queen didn't do anything wrong because Queen never physically put it back on their site. It was the resellers. So they can have a scapegoat now. We don't know what's going to happen. But I call baloney. I think you're right, Marco. Dylan, I get what you're saying.
And the relationship of... Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Zach.
No, go ahead, Dylan. I'm gonna end cap this when you're done.
The reseller relationship with Queen Studios, that's like a partnership. They have to stay somewhat cordial. And yeah, they're blaming each other right now, but they don't want to burn bridges, John. That's gonna lose everyone a lot of money. So that's not. It's easier for us to just sit here and say, "Can their ass, get rid of them," when you're not in the company and you don't know what they bring in.
So no, upset the customers better.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying from that, I think then it's if that's your gripe, then it for sure is on the reseller. I don't think that's Queen's responsibility to say it's a 3-day window and leave it at that. And then if the reseller had it, if this is how they're saying now, to where it was the resellers who bought more and then reopened it back up, then that's pure on the resellers. I don't think Queen has any sort of responsibility there.
I personally, for me, I don't think that's what happened, but each to their own.
I mean, but Queen should, though. If Steven's Collectibles tomorrow, and he would never do this, I'm using this purely as an example, said, hey, all Hot Toys buy one, get one free, Sideshow would be phoning his ass up real quick about breaching contracts and breaching terms of the ability
for
to
God's sakes, Jazz Inc. did it. It was like a fucking 911 blaze fire.
Whoa!
It was like a 911 blaze fire.
John, you can't ever say that again. Jesus Christ. You said 9/11, bro.
No, but I was saying like a 911.
No, that's a sensitive subject, John. How dare you?
I don't mean the event. I mean like a.
We're gonna.
Dude, you're not even American. You can't talk like that. Dude.
I'm gonna play this clip.
48 hours from now, if they're not convinced, I'm not convinced. I shut you down, John.
Jesus.
They shut me down, guys. Guess what? You're coming with me. You're fucking coming with me.
Legitimately frustrated.
Look at the look in his face when he realized he said 9/11 was classic.
I pulled that back. Fucking real. I got to the 9/11 and I'm like, fuck.
John was like, John went fucking Speed Force Flash, dude. We
yeah, that was gold.
At any rate, I just have to say this to Queen: no more lies, right? You know, you put up this thing with the Joker,
Spoilers,
and
look.
then things get pulled back, and then the quarter scale statue, and things get pulled back. You know, you're already doing better in a lot of ways by Hot Toys by being this open, but you know, it's got to be a consistent message. And we did confirm with John from Queen Studios for tomorrow's After Dark at 10:30. Be sure to tune in live for that tomorrow. I think for the Patreonies, we'll probably put up something in the Patreon feed, or if you guys have any questions for Queen, we can ask them directly. If you're a Patreon member, we can maybe ask some of those questions in addition to the clarification that we're going to get hopefully tomorrow. This was John's video. We already went over the comments, but it was
handsome devil.
Quite viral. I don't know why you look like 20 years younger in this video. It's weird. It's like you had a baby face filter or something on Instagram or Snapchat. In other company news, looks like Queen's not the only one getting the shit this week. Toys Wonderland put an official statement. We talked about it, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago about the 1/6 scale Batwing by Jazz Inc. Dioramas. It has been brought to our attention that due to a recent incident regarding the sale of Jazz Inc. Dioramas Batwing 1/6 scale collectible vehicle controversial arguments concerning whether we were selling official Jazz Inc. collectibles were brought up. The Batwing 1/6 scale collectible vehicle in question was supplied by an official distributor of Jazz Inc. to Toys Wonderland without the consent of Jazz Inc. and Warner DC. The distributor account was terminated as a result. The above incident was caused by our miscommunication with Jazz Inc. Dioramas. This was purely a misunderstanding. We have contacted Jazz Inc. Dioramas for this matter, and we are pleased to announce that this matter has been resolved. At Toys Wonderland, we always strive to provide customers with great varieties of top quality and the latest collectibles. Selling goods without official authorization is definitely something we do not condone, which I think is quite ironic because Sanctum Sanctorum is literally all unlicensed figures. We hope this statement clarifies the situation, and we look forward to working with more exciting companies in the future. Jazz Inc. did also put out a counter statement as well this morning. He said, upon further review, Toys Wonderland have been in contact with a supplier we are in talks with to discuss an Asian distributorship. Apparently, through miscommunication and enthusiasm, Toys Wonderland had put up the 1989 Batwing for pre-order, even though our potential supplier had not yet asked for our approval. Therefore, I was caught unaware, had to make a statement after dozens and dozens of worried messages from clients. Given these facts, Toys Wonderland did not act in bad faith. We will not pursue a supplier relationship with Toys Wonderland, which is why the product page has been taken down by TW. I hope this resolves any issues or question. Yost from Jazz Inc. Dioramas. So, I don't really know if there's anything more that needs to be said about that. It's just a quick update. And let's.
What are you talking about? There's tons to say about that.
Okay, if you want to unpack it.
You're a professional. I'm not going to say anything too much. You're a professional. Don't put the horse ahead of the thing. What do you say? The horse ahead of the cart.
Don't put the
cart.
Don't
put the horse ahead of the kettle.
Don't put the 9 in front of the 11, bro. Never.
Wow.
Ever.
Listen. Worry about yourself. They did it with the Hot Toys with the Batmobile. Oh no, Hot Toys doesn't have no license. They retracted that one, buddy. Focus on your product. Focus on your family. Get it out. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't jump straight to Facebook and make posts. Look, see how Queen's doing it? They're trying to hide bullshit under a carpet.
I was gonna say this is what you wanted them to do. He made a comment on behalf because of issues with the reseller, and now you're criticizing him for what? For essentially coming out with something afterwards.
First of all, his comparison in company to Queen is not even on the same spectrum.
That's irrelevant.
Media-wise,
scenario.
Media-wise, he's jumping straight to conclusions and going directly to social media. Meanwhile, what Queen's doing is Queen's buying time. Queen's buying time is what they're doing. Queen doesn't have to wait this long, but he also doesn't have to go this quick. Within hours, he was already on what do you call it? What do you on Facebook?
All right,
Dylan, you can sit there and laugh, Dylan, but no, you want to say I'm complaining that he's too quick and this one's too slow. It's completely two different situations. Completely too different. So what are you saying? That Queen's walking on eggshells to make sure that everything's done right?
I'm saying I don't know how to make you happy, John. Okay. I just want to make you happy.
It's not your job to make me happy. Focus on the show. That'll make me happy.
Motherfucker, you were commenting in another live chat. How dare you
I'm sorry.
comment Dylan like that? He was writing paragraphs. I'm like, what the fuck, John? Holy shit. All right, well, let's
But you
move
couldn't
on.
tell. Nobody on the show can tell.
It's absolutely seamless.
Oh, I could
You
tell.
were
I saw
ranting
you. I
and
saw you
talking
like.
paragraphs.
Of course, because you were there. You flipping.
I saw the little vein in your fucking.
Yeah, how do you know
there
he was
'cause-
commenting in another chat?
Exactly. He
'Cause
was
you
there.
were
He made a
there.
comment.
Hey, did you notice me skipping out? They were saying, "Hey, he's answering the question right now," so I was like, "Fuck, let me go in there, bro." Meanwhile, John was furiously typing
No, but
away.
Dylan, no disrespect at all for you, man. I know what you're saying, but I don't know. I hold them. I look at the situations differently. That's all. Because you got to understand, in this situation, Yost jumped down Toys Wonderland's neck right away. Boom, 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 jumped down their neck. This situation's a little bit different. Right? That's all. That's all I'm saying.
I love how on the show I said I will, get some questions for John, and none of the questions are figure related. You motherfuckers, we need figure questions, not ass or tits or
That's a
do you
very
wipe
valid
standing
question.
up or sitting down. We're not gonna let y'all ask any questions now. That you just fucking pull the rug right under it.
You squandered your opportunity.
You squandered. You guys had limited access. I don't think I read this comment, but I want to read one more comment.
Oh, here we go.
Before we do, Jesus Christ, could Facebook be loading any slower? Let me go to backup here. Here we go. So we put up a post on Auxiliary to see if anyone had any feedback or stuff about this issues. Seamus says each company has its own issues. Sideshow with its quality, Queen Studios has harmed its reputation with some collectors early, and Hot Toys has a huge pre-order list pending for release. Just to name a few for discussion. So definitely some great feedback there. Hopefully we'll be opening up these weekly. If you have anything to say, we'll read it on air type of posts. And yeah. Wow, Obi-Wan Kenobi is being pushed back by 2 days. But I guess as a consolation, they're giving us 2 full episodes on launch date. So the new launch date is May 27th. And I guess episode 1 and 2 are dropping at the same time. Does anyone know why that's happening? 2 days seems like such an insignificant...
Right?
Everybody was
delay.
happy because it was an
I heard
anniversary
it was
date.
celebration, or I guess an anniversary is kind of a weird thing to overlook.
Yeah, it seems like a weird, just 2 days. Usually it's, 2 months or, next year.
Just
but
be
2
grateful
days.
it's not Christmas.
Dylan, did you see all the iLadies comments that we were getting?
The what?
The iLadies comments we were getting?
No.
Oh, okay. They were quite graphic.
Where was this at?
Yeah, we were blocking them from all the iLadies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see some of them. I got Gigi, by the way, asked if this is an NFT. Peps could make millions, probably.
Yeah,
with
they
that.
really could.
Probably should be.
Zach, I'm disappointed you didn't follow up with that lead.
Well, he didn't give it to me. I served it up on a platter.
Were the iLadies the ones you blocked?
Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't block the Tugma.
Yeah, okay. That was good.
iLadies balls on your face, Dylan.
Tug my-
Christ, you couldn't have just given it to me, Dylan. Anyways, so those episodes are dropping, and I don't really care. Moon Knight, episode 1, John picked as the movie/show of the week. Stephen Grant learns that he may be a superhero, but may also share a body with a ruthless mercenary. Episode Jesus Christ. All the iLadies right here. Look at this webcam.
Wake up,
chat,
GG. You got a wrench for a reason. Handle your stuff.
Yeah, we gave Gigi a wrench. Let's see how long it takes for this.
I
to
feel like you gave her a wrench
Damn.
and these started popping up. What the hell's going on, Marco?
Anyways,
Is that how you afforded the
on
Razor
it.
Quest?
Exactly.
Razor
you guys
Quest.
do it in your spare time.
It's actually
What
it's just
a-
me though playing with my Razor Crest.
First off, whoever blocked that, well done. Okay, let's get back on track here. A lot had been said about the accent, and I didn't feel that it was bad. I thought Oscar Isaac played this role wonderfully. There's and I guess we'll try to remain relatively spoiler free, but there's moments where he's kind of almost playing 2 different characters, and the difference is incredible. I thought the plot, you know, it's kind of you're dipping the toe. You don't really know a lot yet, which is understandable. But this was a great way to kick off. I think this is like a 6-episode run. This isn't really a huge spoiler, but 2 things that I really enjoyed about this. One, there's a phone in this photo, and the phone's plugged into a charger. I hate when movies have like this, like hidden MacGuffin that's somehow been there for years, and it's like a phone with like full battery, and it's just been there for like however long. And it, like I appreciated that it had a charger. And maybe very, very minor spoilers, but what a tragedy. That girl you're supposed to go on a date with had a fucking dump truck, dude. And
She
he
was
fucking
bad.
stood her up, dude. She was bad as fuck. Dude, when she turned around, I was like, God damn, dumps like a truck.
You know what makes that scene worse? Is he legit tried to be there. He was...
He dressed up and everything.
Yeah, he went. He just got the day wrong.
He was ready to eat some meat.
Right?
Dude, I was ready to eat some meat, dude. My gosh. It's a
Dude,
whole ass
right.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Holy shit.
Making me hungry.
Oh
dude.
my god.
What did y'all think of it? I'm very excited to watch the rest of this series. I mean, I said it earlier, I don't particularly know that much about Moon Knight. One thing I will say, and then I'll hand over my airtime. I said it when we talked last, I think it was last week actually. I appreciate when things in shows link to other things, that you can enjoy the show outside of the show. In one of the scenes, there's a QR code next to a museum display. And if you scan that QR code, it brings you to a free Moon Knight comic, which I believe this show or perhaps this episode was inspired by. And I think that's such a clever bit of marketing. I just thought that was... I thought that was special. What did you think about it, Dean?
Yeah, I'm with you. I know nothing about Moon Knight. I don't even know who his secret identity is. So this show was just kind of like an entry into the character. And you kind of just get chucked into the middle of it. It's not like he discovers some kind of artifact and all of a sudden he's a superhero. It's like he's kind of has been going through a bunch of shit already. And so you're kind of playing catch up with him. And I mean, really up until like the last like 10 seconds of the episode, kind of don't know what the fuck is going on. It's bloody. I don't know about gritty, but it's definitely a change of pace from what we're used to. And I'm here for it. I so far have enjoyed it. The accent was way better than I thought it was going to be. It's just like, I don't know. I don't 100% buy Oscar Isaac. Maybe it's just because like I'm so used to him not being British that, you know.
He did so good.
No, I'm not saying he did.
He has such a range, like in what is it, Ex Machina or whatever.
Yeah, that movie is great.
It's fucking great in that movie. Great as Poe. Great as this guy, and I don't even know what the fuck his name is, but I mean, dude, what a... And there's so many questions. I can't even talk about it because of spoilers. Before John goes, Dylan, I know you wanted to do a spoiler stream for this one. Is that still happening?
Yeah, I want to do one Thursday night.
At your boy.
And then we can kind of break down both 1 and 2, episodes 1 and 2. But yeah, I am a huge Moon Knight fan, of course, I mentioned earlier. And it looks like they're on the right path with it. They're doing something fresh. I don't think they're super... Because it's really the only comics that I've read almost everything there is. Apart from some of the first few appearances where he came from, but that's not a huge character building thing for him. But they're doing something fresh with him, new, which is not new for the MCU, which I like. But I think the whole accent thing will clear itself up as well. I don't know. Yeah, like... I don't want to get too much into spoilers because I think there's a lot of explanation for things that I think people might pick up on later on. That I do like they're making it complex. I like that they're really making him a character that struggles because he does a lot in the comics. He's a different guy. I know a lot of people say that he's like Marvel's Batman, which is what he was like kind of made after, but as a hero part, his actual like characters, like when he's not the hero, that's completely different than Batman. That's what I like, that is fresh. He has some real struggles there, and we'll get into that I think in the spoiler stream, but yeah, it's really cool. The suit, really like the suit. I was worried I wouldn't like it. I didn't watch the trailers leading up to this because someone said that they showed it at the end. But I think there's a little bit too much gold in it. I said to Sean and Eddie, that was my one gripe. But at the same time, it's really visually appealing, I think, overall. John, what do you think, or Marco?
I personally enjoyed the episode a lot. I'm excited. This show's nice because, how I felt is as you're watching it, you want more. You don't want to stop. You want it to keep going. Nice to see Ethan Hawke, great actor. Love that scene in the park where he was kind of like, well, we're not going to get into it, but love that scene there. The scenes throughout the movie, CGI a little off, like some
Good
of the
call.
scenes with
Yep.
on the road, with the bus
There
and
was
so
one
forth.
that was really bad. I thought.
Yeah.
There's some pretty complex scenes, but you're right. It was
They
wonky.
are. They weren't easy, but it was like like a truck getting hit or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the logs and everything. Yeah, fun. I think he's what's his name again? Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac.
Great actor. I think he's doing a great job so far. I'm not as in depth as Dylan. I don't have the knowledge that he has with the character, but I've done a little bit of reading, and so far, with what I'm reading, I can see like you'll figure. I'm sure they'll talk about it in the show, but when it comes to personality wise, how he is between the characters, I think he's doing a great job so far. And Ethan Hawke, like I said, he's a great actor. I think the team up's going to be great. Very promising.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were calling for this one to be a movie, right? They were saying, why is this a show and not a movie? But I think it works perfectly in this format because the mystery can kind of unfold. Like John said, it keeps you wanting more. Like by the time the episode ends, I'm like, man, I'm ready for the next one. I wish it was like Kenobi where they dropped 2 episodes because I really could have driven into another one. And I do, the first time you hear the accent for the first trailer that dropped way back, it's like, why did they make that choice? But it's cool that they kind of explain that. So, really excited to see where this goes. Everything about it was great. Like, I think, like much like WandaVision, like this is perfectly tailored for a TV show for a limited run. And I think this is going to be one of their best series so far. I know small sample size, but it's really promising. And like John said, Ethan Hawke really crushed it. Like to have him as an antagonist is just great. Like we're living in a great time to have these phenomenal actors be in these roles, playing some characters that a lot of folks love.
So Zach, who's next on the line of movie picking?
I did want to say one thing shortly before that, but it is Marco's choice. Marco, you made a great point where like these 6-episode runs, I mean, they're basically like just longer movies, right? I think it would be great if we were able to get these as like a long form upload where you could watch, like once the series has met its conclusion, you could just watch all 6 without an intro or any sort of interruptions between each episode. I think that would be fantastic.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Because I mean, really, like these could totally just be long form movies. And I thought, well, that's the long form movie, but I also watch Lord of the Rings extended like once a week, so it's not really anything out of the norm.
Heck yeah.
It is Marco's choice for movie of the week, and I'm excited to hear what you have to pick.
Yeah, so inspired by Ethan Hawke, I am choosing Training Day, which is one of my favorite movies. Well, I guess we won't go too in depth here, but yeah, Training Day is one that I have been meaning to revisit for a long time. So looking forward to chatting with you guys about that.
Sweet.
Boom.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Where is this one streaming, Marco?
It's on HBO Max.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. So we'll be streaming it there. And apparently Sean S says that where's the comment here? There's gonna be a big surprise in episode 2. I think he had some work on the show, so that's really.
I
cool.
just wanted to
Hell
say
yes.
real quick. Zach cut me off. I didn't even get to finish talking about Moon Knight. He was just like, "Oh yeah, you just made a good
I'll
point.
shut you
What
down,
do you
Dean."
think?" It's like, what the fuck?
Here for my next trick. Just kidding.
Nice.
Oh,
You're fucking
savage.
garbage person.
Okay, Dean, go ahead, please. My
No, no.
apologies.
Everyone said
A
everything. It's
1,000
great
apologies.
Show. It seems like it's gonna be a good time. Everyone said all the stuff I was gonna say, so it's fine.
I don't mind the show. Okay, I always prefer movies, but the way that Marvel's been doing their shows and actually giving closure, I don't mind, because that's my one complaint with a lot of TV shows is they don't have proper closure typically, or they fudge or trip over the finale some sort of way. As long as we get character to the overall story and character, I think that's all I want.
And the truth is, they've built up a path for crossover, right? Like Captain America 4 will be Sam Wilson's Cap. So if this is successful enough, we could definitely see a movie.
So is he in the MCU or is he not? I'm confused.
Apparently, this is
He is.
before Iron Man the first one.
Okay.
It's the
tell by
MCU,
the
but
phone.
I think they said, I read somewhere that this will be, I don't know if it's credible, I guess, but I read somewhere that this is going to be the first Marvel TV show without a character we've already seen.
Okay.
Until
Or
Blade
with
shows
a
up.
character we've already seen. So yeah, we could see like a Blade or something, but we won't see like Scarlet Witch or something. I don't know how true that is.
Avengers
but-
or anything. Yeah.
Right.
Real quick, I just wanted to shout out Gigi. She earned a blue wrench today. She was asking for it in the chat. Margot's loving it. She's
Huge
killing
mistake.
it right now. Killing it. So we're excited to watch Training Day next week. And yeah, let's get into some post-roll stuff. Dean, we have some sweet angels that keep the network going. Can we give these fine ladies and gentlemen a shout-out?
These three pillars of shining excellence. They're the best people on the planet. They are Sean Fear, Ian Seavey, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, Lemur Hernandez, King Louis, Mark Pearson. Sorry.
Pearson. Oh, you Sean Connery?
I started getting ahead though to Paul Schreiber and I said Pearson. Mark Pearson. Paul Schreiber, James Colley, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Sweet Danny Lee. Danny, it was not me who timed you out in the chat.
I talked to him about it already.
Oh,
Yeah,
Stephen
someone said ban Danny, and I was like, fuck it, let's do it for 300 seconds.
D.D. Martin, Stephen Critt, Big Ol' Fern, King Zach, Susan Mariquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DeGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Aled Morgan, Tukathri Wa, Derek B. I'm gonna need to spend a little time on that one. Carlos Saavedra, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Dolmadon, Bo LeBoy, Jimmy James, Stephen Percher, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi, the wrench-wielding Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. Guys, if you want us to make fun of your name at the end of every show, or have a cool nickname, join the Patreon. Zach, tell me about it.
Thank you. Well, let me get to the April benefits.
Oh,
first.
sorry.
Shipping April. That was actually really
that was the
smooth.
next slide.
I should move the slide up. That was really smooth. Shipping April 20th, the network sticker sheet and the Jumbo sticker. So those are going to be a full 4x6 sticker sheet. You can kind of stick your stuff wherever you want, and it's a pretty cool little sheet there. First time doing it, they're quite expensive, so we probably won't do these very often, but they did give us a pretty good deal on them, and a Jumbo die cut sticker for the ever popular Jumbo. We also have an April shipping out for the top tier, the Live and Let Dice D20. If you're a top tier Patreon for the $25 tier, this will be shipped to you free of charge if you're in the United States, or at cost minus $5 if you are international. We also just got these in. These are our POG sets. So shout out to Ben Thomas for kind of inspiring us to do this, and to Paul Schreiber as well for being able to make this happen. So these are limited to 25 sets, and each pog can like pop out of this thing, and then you can obviously place it back if you want. But this is a really, really nice set from custompogs.com. And we also have, for the non-deluxe Patreonies, you'll get a random pog. So you'll either get the gold Collecting Weekly logo Chase pog, which is limited to 20, or the yellow and white pog, which is limited to 80. And we will not be reissuing these, so you'll just get one random inside your
love to hear it.
Your package.
No Queen Studio foolery here.
We have
What if I
3
buy
tiers.
like 5 from you? I'm just kidding.
I mean, you could. I'll send you off 5 yellow and whites. $5 a month gets you stickers sent straight to your door and access to Ox After Dark replay. $15 a month gets you the certified crispy certificate and figure fix assistance. And the $25 tier is the Pog Deluxe set on your first pledge, and doubles of all the stickers we send. International postage above $5 will be charged at cost. Our YouTube channel members, if you want to join the... whoa, that's the wrong button. Why did that do that? Nope, that's not working at all. If you want to join the YouTube channel membership, you can do so. There we go, at that link there. We got Mojo Z78, OG Fan, Absolute Irwin, Bema, Test Just One, Mark Pearson, DK Avenger 702, Ben Thomas, OMFG Rick, Justin Harass, Mike Oxlong, Paul Schreiber, S Beam, Andrew Gibo, Andres IB, CC3PO Daminator, Lemur Hernandez, Sam Gist, and Carlito. Thank you guys for the support there. It's 99 cents to become a channel member if you're a Patreon, or $2.99 if you're a regular viewer. You get member shoutouts, loyalty badges, and special emojis. Taking a look at the network, we have CW Live, OFAC, Small Talk, After Dark, Bricks and Brews, The Ringcast, Collecting Weekly Live Unboxing, Collectors Club, Pose Wars, Live and Let Dice. We're putting in and outs of collecting on a hiatus, probably permanently for now. Eddie has left the network. I wish him all the success on his new channel. And so with Eddie and the rest of the founding team of iKnock On, I think it's just best to put that to bed for a little bit and maybe one day revive it with another host at the helm. But Club will be switching to weekly, and that'll be our official statue / comics show. But we got a great roster here for you guys, so definitely tons of content for you to still tune into. If you guys want to purchase any of our swag, we have stuff uploading pretty frequently. You can do so at TeePublic. I recommend waiting for a coupon, because they do get pretty cheap when they're on sale. The link is there in the comments if you want.
You don't have the John, Blockbuster shirt listed on there, but I will be purchasing that.
We do, or we don't? I thought I put it up there.
Oh, no, I said I'm not seeing it here on this list, but that's a banger of a shirt.
Oh, yeah. In fact, let's see if we can show that bad boy off, because shit's pretty fucking spicy.
I was so disappointed I wasn't there for that episode, because that was priceless. I was cracking up watching that replay.
Oh, it
crying.
Was Blockbuster, bro. If you want the Blockbuster tee, bro, fucking $22. Probably never a better way to start.
You know what made it even better?
He tripled down on it.
Yeah, everybody was like, "What the fuck is that?" He's like, "You've never heard of Blockbuster?" Like,
it's like, no,
yeah,
bitch.
No one has.
That's why that shit went out of business. They were googling the wrong fucking name. The lads in the phone book were like, BLU. Where's the?
That shit was so good.
Oh my God.
Like, he was like so proud, like, "Oh, you guys have never heard of Blockbuster?" It's like, we've heard of Blockbuster.
Oh, what a
And then
legend.
he was like, "What's this shit's called?" Dude. Oh man, that was really funny.
This is a must-have.
Sam says he just bought some shirts the other day. Sam, I actually have your poster in my house. It's signed. It's ready to go. I'll be shipping that out hopefully in the next week or so. Dean the Dream Martin came over and we did a special poster signing for you. So that'll be shipping out with your dies and all your other goodies for the month of April. I did fuck up though on Patreon. I apologize. I was supposed to order magnets last Friday, but we're dealing with our water heater that like exploded. Not really exploded, but it died, and we were dealing with that all day, and I forgot to order. So we will hopefully make that up to you guys soon. And then, John, if we can read those socials, I don't think we had.
Yeah, definitely. We have on Facebook, we got Collecting Weekly. We got Collecting Weekly Auxiliary as well. That's the one you guys want to join. Updates, I always say it, updates, BST postings, just a fun group to be a part of. On Insta, we got the at Collecting Weekly _clips, where you can go and see that, if you missed it, the After Dark clip where Fern calls it a blockbuster. Special moment there.
A lot of inside jokes there.
Oh yeah, that was a good episode. At the Everyday Collector and at In and Outs of Collecting for now. Maybe we'll do some updates. We'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah, we probably gotta take that one off, don't we?
Need to see
You
it.
can just rename it the Collectors Club Instagram. Could be a thing too. Yeah, we gotta redo this.
We'll
We gotta
figure it
redo
out.
this. Shout outs time, Marco. What do we got going on your channel this week?
Yeah, so I would just say if you haven't yet checked out the latest episode of the She Said No podcast, we had a lot of fun with it. And this is the first one, Gigi and myself doing video. And if you haven't seen the one that we did with Zach and Victoria, the prior episode, I think that was our first ever video episode. So yeah, go check those out. A lot of fun. We got Gigi's thoughts on the Queen Studios Joker, on the Razor Crest, talked a lot of smack to one another. So it was a really good time. And I would say if you're not following our Instagram channel yet, it's 1_6_FIX. It's a good way to just see when we have new content on the channel, if I'm, going live with these guys. So it's just a good follow, and I'll post pictures of, new figures that come in. So hopefully with Gigi's new camera that she's going to be getting here soon.
I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat watching us today. Everyone on YouTube who's watching the videos and stuff, the chatter that matters. Give a shout out to Eddie on his new endeavor. Wish him the best of luck. He's gonna still come around here and there, Collectors Club and on Small Talk, so that will be good to still see him. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Without you guys, where would we be? We'd be nowhere. So shout out to you guys.
Shout out you, John.
Me
taking the shit.
I'm sorry,
And
Dylan. I snapped at you. I feel so bad.
Getting past. I triggered you. It's fine.
No, you're a good guy.
It's good to have those conversations. So.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I am playing devil's advocate for the most part. It's not necessarily that I disagree with you ever.
No,
but shout out to you, John, for doing that. Shout out to Zach for all the work he does. Dean,
Jumbo, baby.
thanks for having me on. And then Marco, of course. You got to get me your updated graphic, Marco.
Dylan, I wish you were on every episode.
I was about to say, I wish you
love
came on more. Yeah.
And then, of course, the chat. Love you guys.
Dylan's like,
Chat
no fucking way is
like,
that
he's
happening.
like,
I love you guys too. Love you guys too. I just didn't want to drag it out.
He's like, no. All right, I'm Zach.
Don't fucking ever.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Marco, Danny wants to have a wrench on your channel now.
Oh, that would.
Yeah, can I have a wrench on your channel?
Fuck, man,
Please
YouTube's
show me
handing
how
out
to do
wrenches
that.
like
Guys, I don't even have a wrench on our channel.
Oh my god.
Yes, you do. What the fuck are you talking
No,
about?
I don't.
You're logged into the account. What are you talking about?
Well, no, I mean on my page, I don't have one.
I don't think I've ever seen you comment on your page. I could be mistaken. But
I
if you'd
comment
like
all
a
the
wrench-
time.
Honestly,
If you'd
guys,
like
a
a
wrench
wrench,
doesn't even
comment
need
right now.
anything if you're handing them out like jujubes. Like, come on.
Yeah, Dean
Excuse
did on
me,
small
what was
talk.
that? What the fuck?
Yeah, I
9/11 and the
time.
Jew beads. What the fuck?
Wow.
Yo, you said Jew. I thought you were making up a word, but you said
Jujubes.
kind
Isn't
of-
that a candy?
I don't think I've ever heard that ever.
You've never heard the term jujubes.
You're not making it any better by saying.
Well, you're giving out wrenches like jujubes. So find the definition and you'll flip and see it. Jesus.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
Anyways,
That's
yeah,
perfect.
shout out to everyone watching live. Love you guys. Best of luck to Eddie, and it's good to see. We saw Mario in the chat for a bit, so it was nice to see. And big shout out to Golden Ass Gwen. She had, I think it was a WonderCon this weekend. I think she had a good time. So.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Sweet,
let me
sweet
correct some.
angel.
Gigi, nothing against you. You're fantastic. If anything, you deserve one.
Well, is she?
Only
Anyways,
you know.
I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Jonathan.
And I am the husband of the gal who just got a blue
Wow.
Of the guy,
Thank you.
nice.
Of the guy.
All right.
Just a
Freudian
total
slip.
unforced error there.
Freudian slip.
Oh, let's go! That's class!